now, so that way, you can go back and look and see, what we're talking about. So on my audience view, all I'm seeing is waiting for next screen. Anyone able to see? I have the agenda up. Is anyone able to see the agenda, or?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can see it.
You can see the agenda. I wonder why it's not showing up for me, but you all can see the agenda, so that's a good thing. Okay. Well, we may be having, I thought we were going to have a couple of other people joining us today. Jake, and he was going to be able to talk about Math Matters, although I can certainly talk about that, and a couple of other people, but hopefully they will join us here in a minute. But I will go ahead and get started and talk about what we need to talk about, and we may have some other people joining us in a few minutes here. So welcome everyone, happy almost Thanksgiving time, and I wanted to start with going over the newsletter. I don't have it quite finalized, but I will get it finalized and posted and emailed to you hopefully by the end of the day today, so you all have access to that. But I will just click onto it for a second to sort of talk to you about the important points of it, the highlights for this particular volume of our newsletter. And we have we had the MDPLN, which a lot of you remember as the, it's the Montana Digital Professional Learning Network. Well, that has changed its name and changed its look, and it is now called the Teacher Learning Hub. And so we're sort of calling it for short the Hub, and we're all sort of glad that it, we don't seem to have an acronym. We've just sort of shortened it to the Hub, so that's kind of a fun thing rather than another acronym to remember. But it basically is the same, it's that online free professional learning where we are adding new content to. The stream modules have been on there that you know about. We can add, and we're adding more and more content every day and really cleaning it up. So the Teacher Learning Hub is really becoming a more organized and thoughtful online resource for all teachers. So the front page of the newsletter this month is all about that, and you can see that here. It might be a little small, but you will get this by the end of the day today, so you'll have all this information. There will be a couple ways that you'll be able to access it. You'll be able to link through it to it from the portal, from our MTPL portal, and also if you just go to our OPI website, opi.mt.gov/learninghub, that will also lead you there. And Jessica is the one who has been really cleaning up the Learning Hub, vetting the courses, making sure that the content that's up there is high quality. So if you have any questions, her information is there. You can always reach out to her directly. But we're really excited because this online resource is really coming together and looking really great. So that was the front cover. And on the second page, we have Math Matters Montana and the upcoming workshops. And the topics this time are student discourse and collaborative grouping. And here are the 4 dates and locations. So January 9th will be in Plains, January 16th will be in Fort Benton, January 30th in Hardin, and February 13th in Brockton. And they're from 9:30 to 12:30, I believe, or trainings are 9 to 4. And there's a website here in the newsletter that you can link directly to, and you can also ask Jake for his any inputs that he has. Any questions, you can reach out to him or reach out to me for these Math Matters workshops. And I know
is that secondary focused again?
This is, what, that's a great question.
It is. Look, it's under who should attend.
It says, yes, all teachers are welcome, but it's mostly 8th through 12th grade. Yep.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
And Christy, that's not something that we would be paid. If we attend, would we just be considered a participant like all of the others? Do you want us to attend, or?
So I think this would be one of those things that if you felt like it was really important for your region, for your area, to support your schools, to attend one of them, that would be one of those. Give us an email, let us know. Say, hey, I really need to go to the January 30th Hardin one because I'm encouraging some new schools to attend, schools that we've had trouble reaching, or, that would be one of those sort of case-by-case basis. So reach out to us if you feel that need. And in our last meeting, I know that we had talked about, tagging on some of the ELA leadership, and we're still right now trying to build that up, and that may be able to happen for one of those later dates. So I'll keep you posted on that. I know a couple of you expressed an interest maybe in going to that. So I will keep you posted on those. Again, that might move till a little later in the winter, springtime, but I'm working on, building those English language arts teacher leaders, and that may be a workshop that we would have, at that time. So I'll keep you posted on that. It's still a work in progress.
Thank you.
And
Okay,
one thing to note with the Math Matters, I talked to Jake about this, I guess earlier last week, and last year, remember, they paid a stipend and reimbursed for mileage, and they're, as far as I understand, they're not reimbursing for mileage this year. I think it's just the stipend.
I believe that is correct. I know Jake had talked about that, and I wasn't quite sure where that had landed, or where we had ended up with that, but I believe that's where that ended. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to be on this call, so he may just walk into my office here in a minute. We can reconfirm with him when he joins in. So and then for science, we had our writing teams got together and prepared a first draft of the science standards. Then once that, right now they're in the process of incorporating the Indian Education for All, and going through that process, and then they will get presented to Superintendent Juneau, and then start down the path of going to a negotiated rulemaking committee, and so on and so forth to be approved. And so there's a little write-up about what's going on with the science standards. Tara and
Christy, can we wait for just a second? This is Eliza.
Yeah.
It's too little for me to really read, but is there a projected when we would, if everything went according to plan, when a projected draft of those would be, or when they would be, put into practice, put into rule?
They would be approved probably ready to rock and roll July of 2017 would be sort of their final rollout.
Okay, that's perfect.
Does that make sense? So there's
I'm just trying to keep my curricular review cycle up to date, and so that's perfect. Thanks.
Okay. If you take a look here, let me see if I can try to blow it up a little bigger. Well, that one a little too much. Here we go. Tara is, our social media person, and she is connecting us with, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. She sends out our 3 big ideas, the monthly One More Thing newsletter, and she is put in a little blurb here where OPI is really increasing its social media presence, so she kind of added those links here. And she also wanted me to show you, let me see if my computer will cooperate in bringing this over. It's a picture story idea, and this is just an information gathering for OPI in their weekly communications and on any of their Twitter feeds or Facebook accounts. This is a way that you can pitch a story to OPI. So if you have something really great going on in your regions that you know about, you can actually click right on this Google document, and I have a link in the newsletter, so you'll get that when I email that to you, and you'll be able to put in information that you think you want to be shared here, and I think it's just a great way, another way that you all can get information out about your regions, your areas, and things that are going on in your areas. So this is a way for you to directly communicate with OPI. This doesn't come directly to us. This goes over across the street to the main OPI section, but it's just another resource for you in sharing out communication with what's going on. I'll move that back. I hope I'm not making anyone seasick moving around the pages here. And then last, I do have a page of upcoming events with your information, and I had some Eastern events that were sent to me, so if anyone has anything more that you want me to add as far as upcoming events to share out in the newsletter, let me know. Like I said, I'm going to finalize it today and get it sent out to you, so if you send me an email really quickly, I can add that in here and get that added in. And let me go ahead and close that. Back to our agenda. Does anyone have any questions about the newsletter or information that you'll see in that? Okay. And the next thing is everyone's been really great about completing your math forms and sending those to me. And oh, are we all? Okay. And sending those in, and I just think that's great. And thank you for doing that. I've been seeing the you know, hot topics and communicating back and forth with needs that certain districts have. And so I think that that's been going really well. So keep that up. I think that's an important point of contact for us. And again, if you have any questions in between time, you know, just let me know. Next, Aurora Moore and Sarah Davis were going to be here and talk to you a little bit about professional learning in Montana. But I don't see that they've logged on yet. And so what I may do is open my email and see very quickly if they are having trouble. Can everyone hear me? Because I don't hear.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. You were just muted. Okay, that's good. I just had a moment of I don't hear anyone, and my computer has been acting a little funky today. So that's great.
I'm just muted so that you don't hear all my background noise.
No, thank you, and I appreciate that. So I just want to see, because I know Aurora and Sarah had some things that they wanted to share with you all, and I'm going to try to log in really quick to my email here. So I will start sharing my webcam so you can see me, and I'll click into my email and just see if I can see where they are. And I don't see. Maybe if I can just try to invite them. I'll just try that again. I know I had sent that before, but we'll see if that works. Does anyone else have anything to share out with the other liaisons while we have a couple minutes to see if they're going to join in here? While we have a few minutes for you to talk to your fellow liaisons. Any hot topics that your area is working on?
I'd be curious what other people's hot topics are. This is Eliza. Our hot topics have been all around school safety and changes in intruder training and that type of stuff. Hasn't been very academic as far as hot topics are concerned. So I just was wondering what are some of the hot topics in the other part of the state.
Eliza, this is Pat, and the South Central, I always try and bring up academic things, and they always seem to want to talk about things similar to what you were saying as well. And so each time I always ask for ideas and put out some ideas, but the response is not very individually. I get some conversations over lunch, but nothing that they want to discuss as a whole group.
I know one of the things the superintendents in the Four Rivers region were talking about, not this past mass meeting, but the meeting before, was the law that they passed about the suicide prevention, and they're wondering if, you know, basically who's going to be responsible for hiring people to come in and do the training, if the person has to be certified in a certain area, or if they have to, you know, meet certain criteria before a school district can hire them to come in and do the training, or if OPI is going to find somebody or give them a list of names of people who, you know, I think the thing is they want to make sure if they do get somebody in there that it's going to be someone who does a good enough job that then the school district's not liable. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah, and we have that as a hot topic in our area as well. So that's something our consortium is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, I'm doing it on Thursday and bringing in 3 folks, one who runs District 5's kind of outreach for mental health grants and whatnot, and we have a foundation here in Kalispell that has phenomenal resources. It's the Nathan Shute Foundation. And then Aaron Butts from OPI is coming over, and they're all going to do about a half-an-hour presentation. And my hope is that we'll have a scheduled training available to schools on an ongoing basis that they can count on every October. And then their goal at individual schools is to go back and have a protocol for what you do once you know students are at risk. So a lot of schools feel pretty confident with recognizing and finding the students that are at risk for suicide, but then they don't have really good protocols in place for what to do next. And so that's kind of where we're headed, that our consortium is taking it on. So maybe some of the other RISAs or consortiums, that could be something they can take on.
Verge, I'm working with Via Calava, our education lawyer in Missoula, because she works with Missoula County Public Schools quite a bit, and we're putting together, hopefully, a training that then would be recorded and so forth. So, because I know she brought it up at our WMAS meeting 2 times ago.
Well, so, and then if you have something like that, Kathleen, we would probably purchase that or hire that.
Right.
But, you know, my goal is just to make sure there's a standing opportunity for people.
Right. Well, I think a combination, Eliza, is going to be really important, and I like your idea of coming up with kind of a standardized how to formulate your own protocols within your district too, so that they've got some ongoing resources. But the thing that Bia was saying that is concerning is that it's every person in the school district who touches the lives of kids. That could even be, for an example, a non-district employee who's like a coach who's hired just temporarily. They have to have the training also. Anyone who comes in contact with students.
And is there a time amount that's been listed? Like, you know, with substitutes, any
2 hours.
non-certified sub, how long?
2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And just for a bit of information, I've almost got the 3-hour substitute course done, and I've been working on that one too. So.
And Kathleen, if you want, have you gotten ours? We have one that we do live.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, I stole part of yours because I'd used it.
Okay. Well, I was going to offer it
it's
anyway, so.
Kind of a combination of what Bia's done and, you know, what other people have done and stuff. So I think having some of these compliance things available to districts to be able to use as they need them is going to be extremely important. So that's what I'm working on.
Well, that's really good to know. So I think Bruce Grubbs from the Southwest Montana School Services, or RISA, is, you know, everybody kind of volunteered him. They're like, oh, that sounds like something Bruce should come up with. And so when I go to the mass meeting this time, I'll just kind of visit with Bruce and see if he, you know, what he's come up with, or if he needs ideas or something. Would it be okay to have him contact either
Sure.
Kathleen or Eliza, and then just, you know, see. I don't know. I think sometimes the more resources out there, the better, and stuff.
Well,
so.
I'd kind of like to see, you know, us get people together who are interested in this, you know, in putting something together and kind of standardize it a little bit.
Yeah, I think.
To me, that would be well, and it would also help school districts feel like they were covering their asses, for lack of a better term. You know, if it's kind of a you know, everybody's doing this kind of thing, but it's a huge need. We've had 2 suicides this last month. So.
Yeah, they're all, I mean, it's a topic near and dear to my heart too, so if people are interested, I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Okay. Well, let's get together on that and after Thanksgiving, and Dee and I were talking about working on it in December, so I think that'd be great.
That's great. And I just want to, I'm going to cut in very quickly because JL stepped in while you were chatting there, so she can say good morning.
Good morning and happy holiday for this week and the coming.
And
You too. Thank you.
we've reviewed the newsletter and sort of the important points of the newsletter. I shared out the picture story idea. I did get an email response back from Aurora. I know you see her here on the agenda, but she's actually on vacation this week, so I think she'll be joining us for our next meeting. So I will move that agenda item to the next agenda for our next meeting. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk to them about this morning, JL? Does anyone have any questions for JL? We're here. No, I don't think so.
I think we're all thinking about the turkey that I have not yet purchased, I think. That's where I am. Okay.
And the snow that's on the way.
Yes,
so
it's beginning here.
Yeah, oh, it is. To answer, someone asked me earlier if it was snowing here, and it has just started, so it's just started snowing here. And I have our next liaison meeting is scheduled for December 22nd, but that's getting kind of close to those holidays. Do you, would everyone want to maybe bump it up to the week before, which would be December 15th? What works better for you all? I'm happy to bump it up a week earlier if that might ease the holidays a little bit there.
I'm not available the week before.
Okay. So no to Eliza. So will that work? I know I will be in the office on the 22nd. Will all of you be available on the 22nd?
I don't know yet whether I will be. I may be traveling
Okay.
at that point. So,
I'll be available.
but
I will be.
Okay. All right, then
I'll be available too.
Okay, let's keep it on the 22nd. It sounds like most of us will be available then. So we'll go ahead and keep it on the 22nd. And we will have lots more things to talk about then. And in the meantime, keep me, ask me any questions that you need. I'm always here. And I will be sending out the newsletter as soon as it's finalized. And if you think of some other upcoming events or important information that you want me to include, send it to me, as soon as you can so I can get that finalized by the end of the day. But otherwise, have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you.
awesome.
You too.
Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right.